Hello, everyone. Welcome back to Yield Today with Down Canlin. This is episode number 73. I am so pumped. Today, actually, it's like 3 days ago, we passed 2,000 lifetime downloads, which is a big milestone. And I want to hit 20,000 by the end of 2021. I believe it's really helpful if I get focused on my purpose with the podcast, 2, connect with my listeners in a way that I've never been able to before, and 3, push my brand out to all kinds of other podcasts and other outlets so they know about me. So with the first one, improving the podcast and everything like that, becoming much more focused on my vision, I'm planning on doing that by having the podcast be very clear what I want to accomplish with it. So here's the new tagline. You ready? Digging deep to find the life you love while digging up all the lessons you need to live your best life. Something like that, That's kind of the idea. When I look back at the interviews and stuff, that's kind of a thing. I'm really excited to hear those lessons and the stories that unearth those lessons. And so that's something I'm going to focus on with the podcast. I feel like it still goes along with the YIELD acronym, which was Yes, I Envision Love Demonstrated. Because if you're learning things that help you feel love and you're learning those valuable things, they'll help you to serve others, serve yourself, and make a difference in the world, which is what this podcast is all about, and kind of giving you the tools and helping you to feel and know and do those things and make it all happen. Number 2 is getting feedback from you guys. I have been working on a Google form. It's not quite done yet. It's going to be asking things like, do you like the solo episodes? What's your favorite thing about the show? What's your favorite thing about interviews? Different questions like that. I'm also planning to get some feedback from you guys in an audio form. I'm going to experiment with a lot of things with the podcast in 2021, and I'm going to need your help to help this podcast continue to grow. And I'm so thankful for the growth that has occurred, for all the helpful listeners and the shares and everything like that. I really do appreciate it, and I'm planning to really give back to you guys who have been in the journey and in the driver's seat with me this whole time in this moving van, of the journey. I am so thankful for each of you, and I'm really planning to give back in a big way. So definitely stay tuned. And if you haven't subscribed yet, this is a very good time to do that. I am working with and getting the graphic design better, and working on that blog, and just doing these little things that are really going to help the podcast stand out. And I really hope will also help you in your journey to become your best self and provide value for others, and also grow in the amount of love you're able to give for other people too. Finally, appearing on other podcasts and expanding my brand. So I'm going to be finishing up my first book. I know I kind of finished it already, but we're going to re-release it with basically a better presentation, better marketing, and everything like that. And so that's going to be a big push to get on my email list, and planning to write some ebooks too this year about habits, just some of the basic stuff that I talk about all the time on here, just so I have something, like I said, to get my brand out there. So if I appeared on a podcast like, hey, you can get this ebook for free about habits, habits to build love for yourself, I could write that book in 2 days if I really dove into it. But I want to get this other book, kind of my baby, the 5 Habits to Find Your Voice in Your Youth. I think that's a little more important to get out there faster, to at least get it done. And it's just been a little crazy with classes, but I am going to get this stuff done. I'm doing fast from video games right now, which is a big difference from the streaming I did last semester. So I am definitely getting a lot of time back, taking an accounting class and a macroeconomics class. So it's a little crazy, and an internship. So it's a little crazy, but we are definitely figuring it out. I'm planning to be on a lot of podcasts this year and hopefully help this community grow a lot more, possibly pass the 20K download mark by the end of the year. I believe it's possible, and we'll shoot for it. We'll go for it, I'm planning on having a lot more people on the podcast too, interviews and stuff, and it should be a really fun time. I'm actually super pumped, and I hope you guys as well. Oh, wow. We keep having these little slippies. little slip ups. Like I've been slipping in the ice a lot. Oof. But it's made some good LinkedIn content. If you follow me on LinkedIn, I've shared 2 posts about slipping in the ice. One time I yelled hooray because I hadn't slipped in the ice like all day and I like all season. I was like got so close and I finally did and I was like hooray, that's what I said. And then the second time I said no, but it was like one of those funny no's, like super dramatic because my headphones flew out. And anyway, I have a lot of fun with this show, but most importantly, I really hope it is helping you find your voice, maybe calm you down if you're having a little bit of a rough day. You know, when I started this podcast, I really saw it as a way I could like connect with and talk to people without actually being in the same room as them, and it's really powerful, really is. Recently, in my research and business development internship, a couple of my group mates showed interest in listening to the podcast, and one of them is a video production guy, Austin Lawrence. And I told him about the interviews I did with Nick Sales and Jay Goodsell, who are both video production guys. I was like, okay, I'm seeing the value of this podcasting thing now because I don't have to say anything from the interview. I can share little takeaways, but he can get the full interview, all the conversation, all of it, you know, unfiltered and just get it, all that jazz and all that stuff. And man, it's powerful. So I'm really hoping to blow the podcast up this year. And I believe we have all the things to do it. We've been preparing for a long time, over a year, continuously improving the show. I'm not sure if I'll make an episode on Thursday. I probably will. Lately, it's what I've been doing. I'm not sure how long I'll be able to keep that up. And that's something, if you guys want those episodes on Thursday, I can definitely keep that up. So far, the download numbers are pretty good, but I'm not quite sure what you actually think. So that's just the quickiness of how I'm planning to grow the show in 2021. Quick little shout out to Travis Brown of the Podcast Therapy podcast. Listening to his podcast today was definitely really helpful for me. The Google form thing, like I've been working on that and planning on that sort of, but listening to his podcast today really made me like, okay, I'm going to jump into it. So if you want to be a solid podcaster, his Podcast Therapy is really solid and I enjoy listening to it a lot. Has some good feedback. Yeah, so those quick things again were like basically dialing in my purpose so people know what I'm all about, helping the youth and digging deep and all that stuff, you know, make the most of time and learning from it. And then involving the community more and growing my brand in other ways. So that's the plan. We will see how it goes. I'm also planning on making the YouTube channel for this podcast like really good. I just am working on a lot of other things, but it'll all come in to pass in time, and I'll let you know. I'll keep you guys in the loop. So lots of good things are on the way. Thank you all so much, and I will see you on Thursday. Don't forget to yield today, and it will be a better tomorrow. Woo!